we also keep seeing videos of spring breakers all over Florida beaches. Very disconcerting for a lot of people. They're ignoring recommendations and gathering at large groups. Based on your personal experience, how important is it for people to implement social distancing right now? And what do you think is not getting through to young people on spring break that may continue to want to go out?
Well, it's crucial. You know, we were the city that first canceled a large music festival called Ultra. We canceled another large festival of 250,000 people. That music festival, the people would have been landing in the next couple of weeks, and they were coming from 105 different countries. When we did that, we were the first city, probably the U.S., to start canceling major events. We actually were criticized by some in our community for acting, as some said, prematurely, and others went out and said, we're open for business. And now unfortunately, the people have come to Miami. And what people don't understand is, as mayor, I don't have the authority to close the beaches, but thankfully our county yesterday finally closed the beaches. And so my advice to spring breakers is to respect social distancing. If you can go back home, it probably is worth going back home because none of the businesses in Miami are open right now. And so there's not going to be any opportunity to party or to congregate. And so my recommendation for them is to take this seriously, not just for them and for their health, although we're seeing more and more young people very, very seriously affected by this, but also for their grandparents and for those who they may come into contact with and may not have major symptoms that they could gravely hurt. Besides, we have to focus on our first responders and our hospital systems that we know over the next few days are going to be overwhelmed. And so the responsible thing to do is to stay home, to respect social distancing. We've got to take this seriously so we can get ahead of this.
Mayor, this is Sunny Hostin. You are under quarantine, but you're still working. Are you considering more of a lockdown scenario like San Francisco has done?
We are, and I actually spoke to the mayor of San Francisco. She's a friend, and we are considering that. In fact, that may already be in place by the time that the day is over. But we are certainly looking at that. The county has recently implemented essentially a shutdown of all businesses except for non-essential businesses. So what we're looking at is a shelter-in-place order similar to what San Francisco has, which is basically if you're not going to do something essential, if you're going to the supermarket, if you're going to get medicine, we understand those are essential things that you have to do. But other than that, you really should be staying home. And if you have to go out, you absolutely should respect social distancing.
Hi, Mayor Suarez. This is Sarah. We're all trying to practice social distancing right now, which has been pretty difficult. You and your wife have 2 young children, and they've all tested negative, and you're currently isolated from them. But what's it like to have been away from your family right now?
Oh, it's been awful. It's been really tough. I mean, my daughter is not even 2 years old, and my son is 6. So not being able to hold them, not being able to hug them, has been extremely difficult. My wife, thankfully, has come by a few times from far away, and I have windows on the outside and sort of waved at me. But it's been extremely difficult for her, a tremendous amount of anxiety. As you can imagine, the minute I tested positive, it wasn't just about me. It's about all the people in my government that I come into contact with. It's even people that in her school, our children come into contact with. It's people in her civic activities that she comes into contact with. So the number of text messages, the number of calls, the anxiety that this created for our city, unfortunately, was tremendous. And so she's been extremely supportive. And frankly, without her support and without my children's support, it would be much, much more difficult for me.
Absolutely. Well, we hope you feel better soon.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck to you. Stay safe.